a lot of people ask what is the problem with the world, or who are the problem with the world. When I hear stuff like that, and people they start listing reasons of what's wrong with the world, one of the first things that I like to point out is what made the current state that we're in as a species, as a culture, as a collective. What made it that way? What led up to this point? Because I hear modern women talking about men, and modern men talking about women and how things used to be, as if we grew up in those times and we know exactly what was going on in those time periods. What transpired in those time periods led up to this now, because of women activists and feminists and rights of minorities and the things that took place throughout history that led to where we are now. But people will start going on about the people, all of the people that they don't like. All of these people, oh, you're wrong, you're what's wrong with the world, or you're what's wrong with the country. When I think we all can agree a big part of what's wrong with the world is division, is compartmentalism, is institutionalized belief systems that separate people through caste and through a hierarchical system. That's the issue. And I think that it's a part of our nature to individualize and to point out differences, to seek out patterns, even patterns that don't need to be sought, that don't mean anything. And they delude us and they make us think highly of ourselves, or higher about ourselves than we actually are. And that leads to arrogance and us feeling like we're exempt. Now, I got to touch on it, and a lot of people are going to disagree with this because I know that there are a lot of religious people. But that's the aspect of religion that I don't like. Because regardless of what religion you're in, or religion you adopt, or whatever you're born into, whatever you're indoctrinated with, they all say the same thing. They all claim to have the answer, and they all claim to be unique from or independent from each other, and they're not. Because I've looked into all of these belief systems, and they're all based on human qualities and characteristics that people made up. They all exist within each other. They're not independent from each other. What do I mean? I mean, in most systems, you have dual opposites. You have good and evil. You have blackness and lightness, dark and light, hot and cold. It's duality, positive and negative. You have these principles to tell you a story, an allegory about ourselves and about how nature, how our universe works, how everything works, and we miss it. That's the issue. We're so busy pointing out extreme poles and what's wrong with the world, projecting, that we don't even see those things within ourselves. That's the problem with the world. So to answer that question, who or what's the problem with the world, it's not the conservatives, it's not the liberals, it's not this construct that we all agree on. You notice that? We all have agreed on a construct, on something that if aliens came down, they wouldn't even know what any of that means. I don't think y'all really understand what I'm saying. If aliens came down here and we tried to explain them the system of money versus what's a resource that we need, they wouldn't even understand the parallels of why that matters. But everybody thinks they're exempt. Everybody thinks that they're exceptional. Everybody thinks that them and their tribe have the answers, and everybody else is lost, and everybody else is sheep. And I just sit and observe. I just sit and watch everybody fall for the same things that have affected us since the beginning of time, since the human race has came about. I just sit and watch the egos of men. That's all I sit and do, because at the end of the day, the things that I'm talking about are going to be relevant. They're going to be relevant however long we are on this planet. And that's why I say at the end of the day, the system is set up. This game, whoever came up with it, is set up for us to destroy ourselves. Until we understand that we're one. Collectively. Until we understand that, we're going to continue to have these problems that we have in the world, where people compartmentalize, pointing out patterns, pointing out differences, and then they're going to stick to their guns and stick to their sides based on those things, both based on those moral, ethical, and character differences, instead of trying to truly understand and listen to each other. So that's what I think. I don't think it's any particular people that's wrong with the world or with the planet. I don't think that. I think all of that is just a projection. So even all of those bad people, even the deep state, even the Illuminati, we still have those characteristics within us. Because most of y'all who are speaking like that, it's out of jealousy, and you're just upset that you didn't get the call. You're just upset that you're not a part of the boys club. See, me and the people that I align myself with, we don't want anything to do with this system. We don't want your money. We just deal with this system because we have to. But we always know the truth. We always keep the memory. We always understand that this is a form of slavery. And I know a lot of people don't agree with that, because we've had so many heinous forms of slavery. But the best slave is the one who doesn't realize he's a slave. If I don't have to put shackles on you, if I don't have to whip you, and you're still going to do what I say, I can just manipulate you and brainwash you into believing in what I want you to believe, then that's the best slave. And that's what we have here, all over America and all over the world. Willing slaves, people who don't even realize they're slaves because other people are going through worse, and you have been brainwashed you've been brainwashed to look at the good of it. That's what they tell you. They say, oh, well, look at the positives, don't look at the negatives. That is a gaslighting trick, because anybody who has love for a system that is set out to destroy you, if you have love for this system, then you're practicing hate. Everything about this world you should be doing the opposite of, or at least the thought processes and the way you're thinking about it. You should be thinking opposite of whatever moral or ethical code they're telling you here, because everything about this place is set to destroy you mentally and emotionally, and just your whole entire, all this system, all the people at the top want is you to give up your soul, you to give up everything, your blood, everything. They don't stop. That's what this is about. So as long as we're divided and we're feeling like somebody's superior and somebody else is inferior, then we're going to continue to go through this, because the numbers, the masses rule. The masses, when you come together and you can make moves as a collective, then everybody has to follow. That's what you see. You see popular opinion. But what so happens is popular opinion now is geared towards the most idiotic, mindless stuff. If popular opinion was geared towards critical thinking and trying to find the truth, then this would be a better world. But I kind of think it's within our nature to be dual within ourselves too. So you have to have those polarizing opposites. Like I said on one of my videos, and I'm going to say it again here, Satan has to have his army. If Satan didn't have his army, then that whole system would collapse. It's prophecy. So while you're trying to get people on your side, you're not even realizing this is already being set in motion. The prophecy, that is. This is already something that is going to happen from that perspective, from people who are thinking from that background, that Christian perspective. Either way, though, this is just a cycle. But that's all I got. It's almost 10 minutes. It's your man King Chaziel. One time.